Well, gang, get ready to say goodbye to those post 9/11 color-coded terror threat level warnings at the airport, and hello to the Obama administration's new strategery for keeping us abreast of what they think bin Laden and the boys are up to. Will the new terror threat system make you safer, make you at least feel safer, or neither? That's where we begin this morning, and we're backing it up with a look at what's going on vis-a-vis the new travelers' rights package that has been put together by the Obama administration for air travelers who have had enough with the things they need to put up with. And you may well be on that list. Stay tuned, it's coming up. But right now, let's get the very latest on the change in the terror threat alert system from Fox News reporter Todd Starnes, who's joining the Bud Man here. Todd Starnes, nice to have you with us on Bud Hedinger Live. Thanks for dropping by.
Well, man, awesome to hang out with you. And I got to tell you, I've been drinking a lot of root beer last night trying to make sense of all of this.
Just root beer, huh?
Well,
I have a hunch you might need something stronger if you really want to get into this.
Well, I've got bad news for you because in spite of the new terror alert system, they're still going to be fondling our private parts down at the airport. So not much has changed in that area.
Well, we're all looking forward to that opportunity. Nothing like a groping pat down to get your day started.
I got to second base last week down at LaGuardia.
No kidding.
Yeah,
this may fall under the category of TMI at 6 o'clock in the morning. A little too much information.
Hey, don't mean to folks are choking on their Fruit Loops. Sorry about that. You know, it's interesting. Janet Napolitano, not only did she come out and talk about this terror alert system yesterday, but she also defended, the video we've all seen of the little 6-year-old girl going through the
it was just awful. I mean, Mommy, you always told me that strangers aren't supposed to touch me in certain places. She breaks down in tears afterwards here. Apparently Napolitano says, hey, TSA did what they're supposed to do.
Well, that's right, sure did. But I did some research. I've got a book coming out next year, and one of the chapters is on the Homeland Security. It reminded me that I had written something about this because last year Napolitano came out and said that that children under the age of 12 would not be forced to go through these invasive pat downs.
Right.
So there's something is just not right there, and with what she told us. But look, this what we understand now is apparently the color-coded system. We have code orange and yellows. Those are all gone now. And
effective next Tuesday, I think they're replaced by a 2-tiered alert notification. And the operative words are what now?
Yeah, well,
elevated and imminent.
Yeah, that's right. And they tell us that they're also going to be using things like Facebook and Twitter to send alerts directly to Americans as well, which that's actually pretty cool, actually. But again, they said that the old warning system, it was just confusing and vague and
ignored. Todd, I got to tell you, I go to Orlando International Airport, and in the background, about every 6 minutes, you hear, the threat level is orange. The threat level is orange. Nobody listens. Doesn't mean anything. Nobody's behavior is changed by that. And I think that's the point here. The issue is now if we have a threat level that is considered elevated or imminent, which is worse, kind of like tornado watches and tornado warnings, is that going to make any difference at all, or are we just changing the semantics here?
No, I think we're changing the semantics. Look, I mean, ultimately, what does the average American, when they hear elevated as above normal baseline, what the heck does that mean? I kind of like what you just said. Why not use the tornado warning method system? You've got a terrorist coming and a terrorist may be coming. That might certainly seem to work. But ultimately, I think the issue is not that the millions of dollars are pouring into this program. The issue is, are they going to start targeting the demographic that's doing this and committing these terrorist acts?
Oh, that would come under the category of profiling. You might be looking a little more sternly at Middle Eastern-appearing men. And God forbid we should do what the Israelis do to keep the terrorists off the airplanes.
Yeah, I'm still not quite sure, why. I mean, I get searched, I get pulled over every time out of the line because I have a lot of Fox News gear, which is plastered with the Fox logos, and it seems as though we get profiled every time we go through the airport.
That's interesting. Do you think maybe if you were like an MSNBC guy, they'd let you sail right on through?
I don't know. I've seen some of my colleagues across the street there get manhandled, if you know what I mean.
All right. Anything more before we go on the change in the terror alert system here, as you see it, Todd?
Well, again, I'm not quite sure it's going to make much difference to the average traveling American. This is not going to change much in the way of what we have to go through when we walk through those security lines. But I think the most important thing is for folks to be alert and pay attention. And if you see something strange or out of the ordinary, let somebody know about it.
Appreciate it. Todd Starnes with Fox News. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir. Glad to do it.
6:10 here on BHL. Oh, I didn't hear about Todd Starnes getting to second base at airport security is not what you wanted to hear at 5 after 6 in the morning. But at any rate, we are live, and that's what we have. And, I've got to tell you here, one thing that is good, a couple of things that actually I think are helpful, but only marginally. The idea is people who are going to fly accept some risk, need to stay connected with what's going on. If they think things are too scary out there, don't take the flight. If you're willing to take the risk, whatever the threat level, go ahead. Why do we need the government holding our hand and trying to define things? I mean, I don't know. It just seems like a little bit much to me. An elevated threat warns of a credible terrorism threat to the United States. The higher of the two levels that will now kick in next Tuesday, the 26th, imminent threat warns of a credible, specific, and impending terrorist threat. And the threats automatically expire after a 2-week period. And Napolitano says this, right now, at this particular time, there would be neither issued. So I think that's good. Right now, they say there's no threat to a level that would take us to elevated, much less imminent. So you wouldn't be hearing about anything in the media or at the airport. And I think that's helpful. There are a few other things I need to say about this. And also, all these sleeping air traffic controllers. Napolitano was asked whether or not that affords the terrorists an opening and an opportunity to attack. And also, do you agree with me a strong case can be made for privatizing the air traffic control system to get better performance and accountability? That's what we need. 407-916-5400. If you're an air traveler, let me know what you think. It's 6:12 on BHL. First look at real-time traffic and weather together on the twos. And we're looking at sunny with a high of 90 degrees today, 67 here in Orlando. Just having such a kick driving this fabulous Acura RL sedan from Fountain Acura. And I want you to get on down to Fountain Acura, the finest dealership I've ever dealt with, and take a look at it and get behind the wheel of it and test drive with the Budman's drive. And you're going to be just amazed at the power, the command of the road, the luxury, and the head-turning styling of the fabulous Acura RL. And along with the RL, they have on their MDX SUV incredible financing rates on new ones as low as 0.9% for well-qualified buyers like you, only at Fountain Acura, where you can upgrade your current Acura model to a similar brand-new 2011 Acura with no money down and a similar monthly payment. Check it all out. What cars, what an opportunity, what a dealership. Fountain Acura, South OBT, just south of the Florida Mall. And online, fountainacura.com.
choice. You don't even have to be a current OnStar customer. Just push your blue OnStar button, stand the line to talk to an advisor, and you're eligible to win. Imagine yourself cruising down the boulevard in your Inferno orange Chevrolet Corvette, pulling up to work in a Cadillac CTS coupe, turning heads in your stylish new Buick LaCrosse, treading responsibly in the backcountry in your GMC Yukon Hybrid. The choice is yours. The OnStar Push-On Sweepstakes. Your dream car at the push of a button. There's no obligation. Just reach up and push it now. Sweeps exclude Chevrolet Bolt. No purchase necessary. Visit allstar.com for rules and alternate entry details. Ford Work prohibited. Ends May 31st, 2011. Must be 18 years of age or age of majority and U.S. or Canadian legal resident. Number 3 entries per person regardless of entry method. But only one blue OnStar button push per vehicle. The fun just got better. Quick, what is the most important feature of a Canon digital point-and-shoot camera? Why, it's the wide-angle lens. The Lenovo Photo Hobby has the new line of Canon PowerShot cameras, including the Canon PowerShot L series with 24 and 28 millimeter wide-angle lenses. Wide-angle lenses are essential to capture indoor family shots, such as birthdays and Easter, as well as great scenery shots when you're on vacation. Sometimes you just can't pick up enough to get the whole family in the shot. How about Chip Hunter 5? They move so fast that Canon has the Rebel T3i single-lens reflex camera to capture those priceless expressions as fast as they make them. Sports, action, and wildlife are easy with the new Canon line of SLR interchangeable lenses cameras. Colonial Photo Hobby just south of Colonial Drive, that's Highway 50 on Mills Avenue. Phone us at 407-841-1485 today. Canon 1 USA warranty, rechargeable battery, and accessories included. And don't forget, radio control hobbies, trades, and camera repairs. Yes, we do that too. The fun just got better. Wearing glasses with Fresnel lenses can make a big difference in your vision. Because neither rain, nor snow, nor dust and dirt, nor smudges, or even the toughest scratches, nor the glare of oncoming traffic can keep your lenses from giving you the clearest vision possible. Fresnel lenses. Live life in the clear. That's C-R-I-Z-L. Fresnel. Ask for the Picture Eye Care Professional.
Hey, do yourself a big favor. Have lunch today. Take the whole office out to lunch at Houlihan's. 4 great locations throughout the Orlando area, and it's unique. It's an Orlando tradition. All the Houlihan's look different, but they all have so much in common. They make about everything they have from scratch every day, and very few restaurants at any level do that. The service is exemplary. The atmosphere is warm and inviting. You're just going to love Houlihan's. It's really become my favorite restaurant. And, at lunch, you've got so many options. It's a diverse menu and every price range as well. Every taste, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. And they've got a new menu of small plates from just $3 at Houlihan's. It's incredible. Lunch today at Houlihan's. More online at Houlihans.com. One thing I like about the change in the terror threat level thing, although I think it really is a bunch of blather. I mean, I don't think it really matters. I don't think it makes us safer. Maybe it makes you feel a little bit safer. I like the idea that the alerts are going to be posted on the department website, which is like dhs.gov/alerts, providing details to show the nature, location, and other information about terrorist threats. According to Napolitano, a specific warning may apply to a particular address, community, city, or region, rather than the non-specific general warnings of the color-coded system. So we will not have to incessantly listen to something that there's no possible way to react to. The threat level is orange. Attention, please. The threat level is orange. That's what you get out of OIA. Now you're going to hear nothing unless it's imminent or it is elevated or imminent, okay? And right now they say there is nothing. So I think that is a good thing. And as Napolitano said, people have stopped paying attention to the color codes. And now instead of the constant state of undefined warning, she said the new system will react to actual threats. She says we don't want people to live in fear. We want people to live in a state of alert and awareness. I guess they have to have something out there to kind of cover their butts if, God forbid, we have a terrorist attack. At least they got something out there. But the fact of the matter is, gang, you're on your own. Watch the news, stay connected to what's going on, and decide whether you think it's safe for you and your family to fly or not. I don't know why we need any of this stuff, to be honest with you, except just reporting what's out there about what's going on vis-a-vis terror threats to air travel. Here is Troy in Eustis. Good morning, Troy.
Hey, bud. How you doing?
All right, you?
Good, good. Hey, it's timely conversation here, bud. I just got done flying the last 3 days. It's been a few years since I've flown. And I got to tell you, but I just get heartbroken when I get lined up to go through the whole system of security scanning. It's so invasive. It's so un-American. You know, it don't know. It breaks my heart.
Let me ask you, because at OIA, I was out there a couple of weeks ago. My son flew as well, separately, and we were both surprised. They weren't using the naked body scanners or the groping pat-downs. You were sailing through like it was 5 years ago through the metal scanner. That was it. What about you?
OIA was the best one. I was in Tulsa.
I don't know whether that's best or not, but it doesn't look to me like they're working very hard on security.
Well, that was the best one I went through, let me put it that way. Tulsa was horrible. They had this naked body scanners. I got patted down. The two people in front of me got patted down. The problem is, bud, we're obviously not terrorists. TSA is not catching terrorists. We never hear about them catching terrorists. I just don't see the benefit, you know. And I see a lot of harassment. I see a lot of invasion, but I just don't see the end result being what we're hoping for.
I understand where you're coming from. We've talked about it a lot on this show. I guess one thing we can hope for is that it's a deterrent to terrorists who say, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through that. They're going to find the stuff I got to blow up plane. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Hey, how about these new travelers' rights that the Obama team has come out with for air travelers? We're going to talk about it as we roll on here at 6:22. Stay with me. We're 60 seconds away from being on that one. And right now, here's real-time traffic and weather together on the twos. And we're looking at sunny and 90 today, 67 degrees here in Orlando. So, now this is effective for air travel in August, okay? Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood has come out with a series of new consumer protection measures to force airlines, they say, to disclose hidden fees, double compensation for passengers, bump from flights, and that they will require carriers to refund extra bag fees when luggage is lost. I got to tell you, the heavy-handed government I'm always fundamentally opposed to. You know that, and so are most of you. But sometimes private enterprise brings this stuff on themselves when they do not respect and serve the public. And the Obama administration's always looking for an opportunity to expand government and to control more of the private sector and more of the general population with the power and the regulatory power of the federal government. So, if the airlines had been better in terms of customer service and respect for we the flying people, maybe we wouldn't see what we have here. These are the specifics as to what's coming. 407-916-5400. And you know how bad it can be. Now, sometimes, you just sail on through, and some airlines are a whole lot better than others, but some just don't give a flip about whether you're miserable or what in the world they've done to you. They don't care. They've already got your ticket money. They're done. They have no connection to you at all. And they'll get you where you're going whenever they can get you there, and just shut up and take it. So that's what has precipitated this from the Obama team and Ray LaHood. Airlines that involuntarily bump a passenger on oversold flights are now going to have to refund double the price of a ticket, up to $650 for delays over 2 hours on domestic flights, 4 hours on international flights. For delays over 2 hours, passengers will be allowed to recoup up to 4 times the ticket price, up to $1,300. Now, airlines under the new mandates from the Obama administration will be required to disclose all potential fees on their websites, including fees for bags, meals, itinerary changes, and cancellations and seat upgrades. Later this year, the new rules are going to be introduced to require that ancillary fees be disclosed up front. Ancillary fees are for everything including meals to in-flight entertainment and frequent flyer tickets. And they sneak more and more of these on. It's kind of like the phone company with all of those hidden fees and things, because they've got rising jet fuel costs now, and they are just trying to nickel and dime you and ding you every chance along the way. And they don't want to tell you anything more than they have to because they want the price to look as good as they can make it look when you go to book your ticket. And then all of a sudden you see, well, wait a minute, I thought that flight was going to be $150, and now it's $240, and it's all fees. And these abuses by the airlines have brought the wrath of the public, and the public have talked to folks, their representatives in Congress or whatever, and they're now putting all kinds of pressure here that have resulted in these new regulations. As far as I'm concerned, by and large, the airline industry has brought this on themselves. 407-916-5400. Now, if the airline loses your bag, okay, they have to refund any bag fee. Not a problem for Southwest because they don't have any, unless you put a third bag on. But for a lot of these airlines, they're getting $50 a bag. If they lose your bag right now, I don't know. We have no idea what happened to it. Maybe it's your fault. Can't be ours. We'll find it if we can. But you don't get the bag fee back. Now you're going to have to get the bag fee back, okay? And this is going to apply to, forget that. Foreign carriers will be banned from tarmac delays of over 4 hours unless there's a safety, security, or air traffic control reason for it. Carriers must also provide adequate food and water to passengers after 2 hours, as well as working bathrooms and medical treatment. And again, it's as far as I'm concerned, the airline industry is responsible for this hammer being put down. If they had served us better, this would not have happened, okay? But it's coming, and I wanted you to know about it, and I'll post some more information on the blog later on today with the specifics. Again, on the new terror threat, kicks in next Tuesday, the 26th. On all of these new regulations for the airlines about how they have to treat you and me when we fly, that kicks in on the 23rd of August. More coming here on BHL. Michelle with the bottom of the hour news update, followed immediately by the daily Wall Street Journal report and big news on the Florida housing market. Stay tuned, 628.
Even spread repair in and bare spots. That's because Easy Seed is everything you need to
were planned. They say the victim was beat up, his gun taken, and his tires slashed. Bobovsky was charged with armed robbery, aggravated assault with a firearm, and battery. He's been suspended without pay. The House Budget Committee in Tallahassee has approved a bill that would pull the plug on all those automated cameras across Central Florida that are designed to catch red light runners.
Representative Richard Corcoran says those red light cameras generate lots of money for government, but they don't make you any safer. Overwhelming majority of the evidence is that those intersections become more unsafe. Apopka City Commissioner Kathy Till begs to differ. She says the red light cameras in her town are saving lives and reducing the number of accidents.
Not only have we seen a significant reduction in violations, we've seen a significant reduction in the number of accidents.
The state will lose $86 million a year in fines if those red light cameras are turned off. Local governments will lose about $70 million. Rick Flag, Tallahassee.
Three bills designed to make it harder to get an abortion now ready for a floor vote in the State House, including a bill by Representative Elizabeth Porter that would require ultrasounds for a woman who wants an abortion. Current statute requires that an ultrasound be performed on a pregnant woman before any abortion in the second or third trimester. This bill would expand the statute to include the first trimester as well. Tiffany Kunkel with Planned Parenthood of Florida says this has nothing to do with health and everything to do with politics.
This bill isn't about protecting women or providing women with informed consent. This is about the legislature's attempt to interfere in the personal and private medical decisions of women and to play politics with women's health.
There are also bills imposing new regulations on clinics and prohibiting the use of public money for abortions. A Brevard County man behind bars after stabbing another man outside a Melbourne bar. The victim told police he tried to stop the man who was harassing women in the bar, turned into a fight. During the altercation, the victim says William Birch pulled a knife and stabbed him in the chest. The victim's expected to recover from those injuries. 540 WSLA News Time 6:32. I'm Michelle Murillo. Get these stories and more at 540 WSLA.
Hey, Mike.
Coming up, more BHL.
Morning. We'll be ready in a few minutes.
Moving up to speed in both directions between the Attractions A and Deltona areas. The 408 is also in good shape, and we're problem-free in both directions of 528 this morning. The Turnpike checks and clear. It's a standard 10 to 13 minutes between State Road 50 and I-4. If you do happen to see a problem on the roadways, call our tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
Traffic on Air Online, a service of StarTron Enzyme Fuel Treatment. Ethanol fuel is horrible. It makes lawn equipment hard to start and run rough. But it's not the engine, it's the fuel. StarTron Enzyme Fuel Treatment cures and prevents ethanol fuel problems in all engines. Go to StarTron.com or find StarTron on Facebook for a dealer near you.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, it is still going to be very hot over the next several days, and we do have a chance for some stray late-day thunderstorms Friday and Saturday. For today, plenty of sunshine and close to a record in the low 90s. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Calling it a life-changing experience?
The world's leading light
would be an understatement.
Is building a new tomorrow.
Call 407-916-5400. Toll free, 866-916-5400.
Well, here's some good news. Across Florida, homes and condos are now selling better than they were. We're going to get the inside scoop on this because they're reporting on it in the Wall Street Journal, and it's time for our daily Wall Street Journal report with Mike Salvatorelli. Good morning, Mike. So let's take us inside what the Journal's got on this. This is a little bit of welcome news. Go ahead. Right. Right, and the fact that the prices are falling, of course, is driving up the number of sales because the bargains have become irresistible, I guess. Yeah, and, you know, it's interesting on this because I want to recommend that people go to WSJ.com, the online site for the best newspaper in America, or pick up a copy of the Wall Street Journal. For whatever your area happens to be in Florida, you can see what's happening to housing and condo prices. Just to give you an idea, here in Orlando, as the Journal has reported, housing Housing prices down 8% in the last year. Ocala down 18%. Down around Lakeland down 11%. Daytona Beach down 7%. It's very, very interesting there in the Journal. Now, yesterday we reported on the first anniversary of the big Gulf oil disaster, the blown rig, the Deepwater Horizon. Now, BP wants some help paying all of those claims, I guess, Mike, and they've suddenly gone to court to get it. You know what bothers me here? I don't know how long this thing's going to be tied up in court, and meanwhile, people who really need compensation are just going to have to wait, it feels to me like. Yep. And finally, in the Wall Street Journal report this morning, you and I may not know where they're coming or going half the time, but your iPhone definitely knows where it's been, right? That's got a spooky 1984 Big Brother dimension to it that really concerns me here, Mike, you know? Yeah. Cutting-edge stuff on the Wall Street Journal, what we have come to expect. Get it at your local newsstand. Get it online, WSJ.com, and get the next Wall Street Journal report with Mike Salvatorelli and the Budman tomorrow, same time here on BHL. Have a great Thursday, Mike. Okay, fair enough. You know, I didn't give you an opportunity to sound off on this new package of air travelers' rights here, and if you want to give me a call on that, I think the airline industry has brought it on themselves for all of the abuses, leaving people on the tarmac and all of the other things that we talked about. And now we've got a new package coming, a crackdown on all of that, full disclosure of all of these fees. So many of them they try to hide, etc. And just the idea that the flying public needs to be treated less shabbily than it has been. 407-916-5400, toll-free, 1-866-916-5400. I will say this, when we recently took our trip out to California, we had that morning where we had all the thunderstorms. You remember that? We had that just torrential rain in the morning, which is rare here, and all the lightning, and it shut down Orlando International Airport, primarily because there were so many lightning strikes that it wasn't safe for the crews to go out there who use those buggies to push back the big airplanes so they can get on out to the main runway, push them away from the terminals. It isn't safe for these guys to be out here. Somebody's going to get zapped, and that was exactly the right call. We sat on that airplane for, I don't know what it was, 2.5 hours. Screwed up all the connections, and the rest of the trip was a complete nightmare. However, it was all weather-related here in Orlando in a fluky situation. And the airline, this was Southwest in this case, told us beyond a certain point at 2 hours that people, if they just wanted to get off the plane, if they wanted to not take the flight, that they wanted everybody to know that they had the right to do that. They were making sure everybody had water. What passes for food on a Southwest flight, which is, bags of chips and, HO gauge peanuts. But they seem to be very, very sensitive to that. My feeling is, and that happened to be a particular time I'm flying Southwest when I couldn't keep my eye off the ceiling of the plane because we had that big hole in another flight, as you remember, that complete nightmare. But my feeling is one reason Southwest does so well is not only because they have reasonable rates, it's because they really do seem to be a cut above when it comes to respecting customers, a cut above what I expect on other airlines and have seen on other airlines. And we fly that airline as often as we can. I don't do commercials for them. I have no stake in what I'm saying here. It's just pure objectivity from the Budman based on my experience with Southwest Airlines. And they are rewarded with tremendous customer loyalty. And that whole campaign about not charging you for the first 2 bags, that resonates with the public. They're tired of being hammered by these other airlines. Every single time you turn around, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. You know, but the rest of the airlines, for the most part, are not customer-friendly. And that's brought this big crackdown. Now, what about a crackdown on illegal immigration in the state of Florida? I've been telling you about this legislation working its way through the Florida legislature right now. Not as tough as the Arizona law, but a lot tougher than what the federal government does. But could it be? It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. But could it be a complete political disaster for us? Stay tuned on BHL. You'll want to hear this. 642, real-time traffic and weather together on the twos.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Link Road Traffic Center, so far so good along I-4 this morning. Continue to see a problem-free ride between the attractions and Deltona areas. The 408 is running up to speed, and we're in good shape along 528 between I-4 and the coast. Also checking clear in both directions of the turnpike. There was an accident northbound along Pine Hills Road. Reports that northbound lanes are blocked in between North Lane and Claricona and Coe. You may want to take Powers Drive instead. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, it is still going to be very hot over the next several days, and we do have a chance for some stray late-day thunderstorms Friday and Saturday. For today, plenty of sunshine and close to a record in the low 90s. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Morello. Coming up in your 7 o'clock news, a candlelight vigil for the victim of a brutal murder in Marion County. The president and the first family planning to watch the shuttle launch next week, and new rules being rolled out for airlines.
How would you like to paint your house and not have to paint it until the year 2036, 25 years from now? Well, it's impossible. Paint's not going to hold up. But Colorcrete will. Colorcrete's the alternative to paint I want you to check out. I want you to get a free estimate today from my friends of this great family-owned business that makes Colorcrete here in Orlando. It is Colorcrete of Central Florida. 25-year guarantee on this stuff. It goes on like thick paint, looks like a fresh paint job. Available in all the colors, just absolutely fantastic, Colorcrete. And they'll give you a 25-year rock-solid guarantee on this because they know Colorcrete will hold up, and they know it will do things paint will never do. Colorcrete, among its assets that paint can provide, it creates a protective barrier against wind-driven rain, prevents mildew, puts a stop to peeling, chalking, and cracking. Great Colorcrete price, particularly considering a 25-year guarantee. Now even better. They've reduced it 10%. They'll even give you a free pressure cleaning of your driveway and sidewalks. How could it be better than that? Get a free estimate today on the great alternative to paint. You're going to love Colorcrete. 407-851-3442. 407-851-3442. Visit them online at colorcreteusa.com.
Traffic on Air Online, a service of the Orlando Philharmonic. The Orlando Philharmonic presents Paul McCartney, a symphonic tribute, starring Tony Kishman, April 22nd and 23rd at the Bob Carr. A real thrill for McCartney Beatle fans of all ages. Get information at 407-770-0071 or go to orlandophil.org. Mortgage rates are as low as 3%, 3.2% APR. Go to LendingTree.com today, where refinance customers save an average of $293 a month or more. Click or call 1-800-555-TREE to find out how much you can save today. That's 1-800-555-TREE.
Mortgage payments too high? Fearing foreclosure? Not sure about the legalities? The Home Mortgage Law Show, presented by the law firm of Morris, DuPont, and Mansfield, PA, answers all your questions live every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on 540 WFLA.
At Saving Face Skincare and Massage, enjoy massages and facials at 40% off. Just $39 for a $65 value. An exceptional price for the extra pampering that Saving Face always includes with massage, facials, or nails. 407-883-5518 or savingface.biz. Traffic reports on air online brought to you by AskTheSeal.com.
Many companies who claim to background check employees do not. AskTheSeal.com performs criminal and sex offender checks on the actual employees interacting with your family or property. Find a company with the seal of approval on AskTheSeal.com. It's free.
Dave Ramsey here. If you're looking for an awesome real estate agent to buy or sell a home, my team and I can help. To find the real estate agent I recommend in your city, go to DaveRamsey.com and click Endorsed Local Provider. That's DaveRamsey.com and click Endorsed Local Provider.
Time now for the final round. Mike has blue eyes, Jim has brown eyes. What does Joe have?
Bronchitis?
Correct. Yes. If X marks the spot,
Y folds the laundry.
Correct.
Woo!
How many TV episodes does Netflix let you watch instantly for only $8 a month?
As many as you want.
Correct. Watch unlimited episodes of your favorite TV shows and movies instantly through your game console or other devices. All for only $8 a month from Netflix. See terms of use.
At Regions, we're building a better banking experience for each small business customer. That means giving you the basics, like checking and savings, as well as offering the right lending options. Because we understand how important capital, revenue, and cash flow are to your small business. So if you're ready for a bank that's as committed to growing your business as you are, switch to Regions. Visit Regions.com/yourbusiness today. Regions, it's time to expect more. Regions Bank, member FDIC. All loans subject to credit approval. See individual account disclosures for details.
Let's hear it. 3 cheers for fire ants. I don't hear anything. That's because fire ants are friendless heathens. They have no pals, no buds, no homies, yo. No one who comes over and says, let's go bowling. All they do is bite your butt and mock you. That's why fire ants must die. But how? With a heavy bag of chemicals? A slow-acting bait? A flamethrower?
Thank sweet heaven there's Orthene Fire Ant Killer from Ortho. Just sprinkle 1 tablespoon of Orthene on the mound and watch the fun.
You don't even water it in. What could be easier?
The workers track it back to the queen and say,
honey, I'm home, and by the way, you're dead.
Kills the whole colony, even the queen.
Wow!
So leave it to Orthene Fire Ant Killer from Ortho, the smart, easy way to
say fire ants must die.
Ortho, defend what's yours.
Orthene Fire Ant Killer is one of the essentials for your southern lawn. For more must-have products, visit ortho.com/essentials.
Hey, how about giving poor old Mama a break this Easter Sunday? Don't make her cook dinner for you and the whole family. How about letting her know how special she is and taking her and the whole family to the grandest Easter brunch of all at the grandest place of all, my favorite hotel, Orlando's Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. There is no place like it anywhere. The Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress brunch has again been voted the very best in Orlando by Orlando Magazine. It's well-deserved, and it gets the Budman's vote every time, too. I absolutely love the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you're going to love it too. It's all first class, food, service, atmosphere. And after the brunch on Easter Sunday, you need to stroll around the grounds of the magnificent Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. Acre after acre, it is paradise. It is spectacular. Now, Easter brunch reservations still available, but it's getting late, so you better book it now. Call 407-239-1234. 407-239-1234. Online, just go to HyattRegencyGrandCypress.com and click on the open table link, and you're there. To win Easter Sunday brunch for 2 at the fabulous Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress, on us. Go to our website, 540WFLA.com, keyword contest.
Calling it a life-changing experience?
Yes, he is the answer to the world's ills today.
Would be an understatement. Call 407-916-5400. Toll free, 866-916-5400.
Under the category of unintended consequences, something I've begun to think about. You know, I've been a relentless crusader on this show, backed up by so many of your supportive phone calls and emails for years, that it is time to crack down on the illegal alien invasion in the state of Florida. To reward illegal behavior, people who have broken into this country and broken into this state, well, they have no right to be here, whatever the legitimate reason they think they have, jobs for their families, whatever it happens to be. There is a legal immigration system. And I am not going to ever want a crusade to reward illegal behavior. However, here's the deal. Republican state lawmaker William Snyder from Stewart has an illegal alien crackdown bill that is working its way through the House, okay? And it's going to the full House, and it is not as tough as the Arizona law, but it is a lot tougher than what is mandated by the federal government. Among other things, it would allow police to ask for proof of residency, and that, of course, could be immigration status for anyone that they have under investigation, and any company under this legislation with more than 100 employees would have to document residency for employment, okay? All of a sudden, we're beginning to see knees buckle in the legislature, and people are backing away from this. Even the Chamber of Commerce is backing away from this. We're not hearing much anymore. Rick Scott has wimped out on being tough on illegals, the way he was particularly in the primary campaign against Bill McCollum. But here's the thing. Here's the unintended consequence. What's more important to you? Cracking down on illegal aliens, okay, which is the right and just thing to do, or making Barack Obama a one-term president? I'm not sure you can do both. More in 60 seconds. 407-916-5400, 652. Real-time traffic and weather together on the twos.
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, so far so good along I-4 this morning. Continue to see a problem-free ride between the attractions and Deltona areas. The 408 is running up to speed, and we're in good shape along 528 between I-4 and the coast. Also checking clear in both directions of the turnpike. There was an accident northbound along Pine Hills Road. Reports that northbound lanes are blocked in between North Lane and Claricona and Coe. You may want to take Powers Drive instead. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
Courtney, thanks. Sunny and 90 today, 68 degrees here in Orlando. Here's the deal, and this is what the Republican-dominated legislature is concerned about. You've got the fastest growing population in the state of Florida is Hispanic. Most Hispanics, it is believed, are not going to want to be pushed too far on the immigration crackdown before they all of a sudden decide that they are angry enough to punish those who drove this legislation and their supporters at the ballot box. So if we get a tough on illegals bill here, okay, which is the right thing, it's what is right and just, is it worth it? If the Hispanic population rises up and in 2012 not only throws a whole lot of Republicans out of the legislature, but more importantly, gives Barack Obama Florida's 27 electoral votes, they could well be the reason that he becomes a two-term president, when I think we'd be far better off if it was one term and out for Barack Obama. Is it worth it? The potential political fallout from passing legislation that is tough on illegal aliens, that so many Hispanics feel is discriminatory toward them and fundamentally unfair, and they, on a very personal level, resent it. And if that winds up being the difference in a close election in Florida, and because this is legislation that would have been driven by Republicans, that there's a huge protest vote driven mostly by Hispanics, and it's reflected at the polls, and Barack Obama wins Florida and gets the 27 electoral votes. This is going to be the state more than any other, once again, Florida. And those 27 electoral votes could very, very well decide the presidential election. Is it worth it to tick off the Hispanic constituency with a tough immigration law now? That's a tough question, isn't it? You know, because it's unintended consequences. But this is why you're seeing everybody soften up on this. The legislature's trying to get something through because people have been screaming for it, because it is the right and just thing to do. But not so tough that it's going to cause an uprising and a protest vote at the polls in 2012 that could completely change the course of the election. And throw a bunch of Republicans out here at the state level, of course. 407-916-5400. Do you understand what I'm saying here? This is something I'm looking at, and I'm really seriously thinking about. And it's something you need to think about, too. And don't tell me I'm getting soft on immigration. I'm not. But what's your high priority? Is it cracking down on illegal immigration, or is it getting Barack Obama out of the White House? I don't think you may be able to do both at the same time. Mike in Orlando, good morning.
Hey, good morning, bud. Well, I got to tell you, I do believe we got to make a choice, and the choice has got to be to get Barack out of the White House. The illegals are not going anywhere. It's something we can revisit, but you're talking about a president whose policies have, put us in the worst economic condition ever. And, the illegals will be there.
So what you're saying is back off, get through the 2012 election, then deal with it.
You better believe it.
Thank you very much. Scott, how do you see it from Orlando? Welcome to the show.
Hi. I'm not worried about the presidency. We're going to lose it. There's no Republican worthwhile going up that's going to beat Barack Obama.
Oh, let me tell you about the new McClatchy Marist poll that is just out. 44% of the registered voters surveyed said they will definitely not vote for Barack Obama in 2012. This guy's got huge negatives. He is very definitely beatable, and I'll grant you right now the GOP field is tepid at best, but he's beatable.
No, not what they're going to put up. They ain't going to put the right person. So you have to do the illegal thing. Now, we've been waiting for this, and we're not letting go of that.
Okay. So as far as you're concerned, what you're saying is, are you generally a Republican voter?
Yes, I am.
Well, all right, so what you're saying is you've thrown in the towel on the 2012 election because you don't think Barack Obama can be beaten.
I'm not going to make assumptions that these people are going to vote for Barack Obama because of this. I'm not going to make that assumption. And if they do, they do. What are you going to do?
If they do, they do, and he's a two-term president. Yes, which is most important to you is getting the illegal aliens accounted for, cracked down on, and out of the state of Florida if we can do it.
It's a priority of mine to keep our goals in mind, and the presidency is probably not my goal anymore. Not with what they're putting up.
All right, thanks, Scott. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. We've talked about it here a lot, and we'll continue to talk about it. And the Republican field, there are some good people out there, but there's not that charismatic figure who's got the whole package, who's got the experience, too, which I think we need. There are people who are telling me we need Alan West. There are people who are telling me we need Marco Rubio. Those are two charismatic conservatives. And believe me, they can be huge players, but they have virtually no experience. And I have people who continue to hit me wherever I go and say, Bud, you know what? We just got to get them up there. We got to win. They're the ones who can win. But one of the problems we're having now is not only this president's out of the mainstream left-wing ideology, but his complete ineptitude and lack of experience for the most important job in the country and in the world. And we don't need to do that to our country again. Even Marco Rubio knows he needs more experience. Chris Christie knows he needs more experience. The New Jersey governor. He says, I'm not ready yet. So I applaud both of them in that regard. But start thinking about this, gang. What's your priority here? Cracking down on the illegals now? Or making Barack Obama a one-term president? I'm not at all sure you can have it both ways. Up next, the fat police about to put a stamp on your kid's report card? Stay tuned at 7 o'clock.
WFLF Pine Hills, WTKS FM HD2 Cocoa Beach. 540 WFLA, where your Florida Gators play. 540 WFLA. Local news from the Fox Orlando News Center.
Investigators believe the conflict started after
From the David Moss Volkswagen Lee Road Traffic Center, starting to see some busy volume pickup westbound along I-4 near 436, but still moving up to speed in this area. Also getting a bit heavy now eastbound near OBT, and just slowly starting to increase along the 408, headed westbound into the 408. Authorities are on scene of a wreck northbound along Pine Hills Road. This is north of North Lane, just before Claricona-Ocoee Road. Reports that the right lane is blocked through this area. Be sure to stay to the left side of the roadway. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
Traffic on Air Online is service of Allstate. Get better protection with a personal touch. Your local Allstate agent will help you get the coverage that's right for you at the best possible price. Find an agent near you at allstate.com. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate. Half off B2 Cafe. ODealsDaily.com.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel, it is still going to be very hot over the next several days, and we do have a chance for some stray late-day thunderstorms Friday and Saturday. For today, plenty of sunshine and close to a record in the low 90s. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Score with 540 WFLA Sports.
In the last 3 games against the Atlanta Hawks, the Magic have made only 40% of their shots. They made just 34% in Tuesday's 88-82 win over the Hawks that tied up the first round series at 1-1. Shots need to start falling.